Monitoring all of the important races that will determine the balance of power in Congress. In Michigan, there are 3 toss-up congressional races that will decide if Republicans will keep the majority in the House or if Democrats will take back control. One of them includes the 7th House District, where Republican Tom Barrett is narrowly leading his Democratic opponent, Curtis Hertel Jr. They're vying for Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin's seat. She's running for U.S. Senate. NewsNation has reached out to both candidates, and Democrat Curtis Hertel did not respond to our request. So joining me now is Republican candidate Tom Barrett. Sir, thanks for answering our phone call.
Absolutely, Markie. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity to be with you this morning.
Yeah, we appreciate you being here. Polls have you 2 points ahead of your opponent. What's your game plan for keeping that momentum going into Tuesday?
Well, it's really a full court press. It's really the culmination of all the work we've been doing for the last or 15 months that I've been in this race. It's really reminding voters of the contrast between my opponent and myself. Of course, he's a 22-year career politician, ladder climber from a privileged political family. I'm somebody who spent 22 years of my life in the United States Army, came home. My wife and I are raising a family here in this district. And I'm running because I feel families like mine just haven't had our voices heard in Washington today. And with the soaring costs of living, a southern border that's wide open, crime on the rise, and national security threats growing every single day, we have to have serious people elected to Congress. And that's why I'm running. And that's what we're reminding voters of in these closing days.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, we did invite your opponent on, but he did not get back to us. Polls show that 7% of voters there are undecided. So how are you targeting them here in this final stretch? And what do you think that they're waiting to hear with just 5 days to go?
Yeah, and we're targeting voters of every political, ideological, breakdown, because we think the message that we have is one that resonates with overwhelmingly the people in this district. And that's born out of conversations I've had with people, listening to them, as I said, for more than a year-long effort in this campaign, and they're elevating to me their biggest issues really are the cost of living and the southern border. It's in my platform on my website, tombarrettforcongress.com, that people can go to, whether you live in the 7th Congressional District in Michigan or you live somewhere else in the country and you want to help us get across the finish line. You can go to my website, see that platform. We're in it to win it. This is very important. This is the most competitive and expensive congressional race in America this year. I'm not taking anything for granted. And I think those undecided voters just need a last reminder before they go cast their ballot, whether they go early or whether they go on election day. And we're doing, as I said, a full court press to make sure that we get, we get our message out in front of them.
Yeah, and I wanted to take your temperature, too, on the presidential election there. It's in a dead heat in your district. Both Vice President Harris and President Trump are polling at 49%. Just based on conversations you're having on the ground, what's your gut check on who Michiganders are about to elect?
I think President Trump will ultimately prevail in Michigan. Of course, we're one of the most contested swing states in the nation, but President Trump always tends to perform better than any polling that's been done in either of the past presidential campaigns that he's been a part of. Even if he does half of the overperformance that he's done in the past, it would be enough to obviously overcome a dead heat tie that the polling is showing right now. I've also seen other polling that has President Trump with a small lead, some that shows the vice president with a small lead. But I think if you add up all together, we're in a dead heat here in Michigan. I would give the benefit of the doubt then to President Trump to close the deal in these final days.
I also know almost 100,000 voters in Michigan cast uncommitted votes, for in the Democratic primary in protest to Biden's stance on the Israel-Hamas war. I'm curious, too, where those voters are going to land next week as well. We'll just wait and see, I guess. Tom Barrett, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. I really do appreciate it. Only a few days left.
Yeah, we'll be following from afar. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.